you really get the sense, and this is a testament to good acting and good writing too. So tip of the cap to Regina King and company again on this,
Yeah.
is that you really get you really believe the comfort level of these characters too. Um, and Odie Henderson, who's a really good film critic for RogerEbert.com, he brought up a really funny line, I thought too. He was like, I can't remember the exact quote of it, but it's or I remember he brought up this line in the his review of One Night in Miami. He said the movie proves that being black can be a whole lot of fun when no one's watching, and he himself is African American, and I thought that was funny because like in this movie too, like it's palpable the chemistry and with between these characters. The camaraderie is there. The societal masks are off. You know, these men can be who they are, which is unapologetically black and opinionated. And it's kind of like a safe space for them too. You know what I mean? They don't have
Yeah.
to worry about mics getting stuck in their face or getting pull quoted. They're just having a couple drinks, hanging out in the motel room. It's down home, and it sort of dispels. These men have kind of become metaphors in some sense with American history and these like mythological titans, deservedly so, but it dispels a lot of that, and it makes them human, and it gives them personalities and flaws too, and I think that that's important as well. And I think theater, you realize, I know this is a movie ultimately, but it comes from a stage play. It shows you, as somebody who's now even too committed to reading like a dozen August Wilson plays this year, I've started to notice this too. It's like theater is where the humanity really can thrive. And I think you saw it in Ken Power's script, and you see it with what Regina King brings here, especially in the second act of this movie.
Oh yeah.
between
Ma Rainey and this movie, I really hope, like, dude, let's finally get all the black screenwriters, not screenwriters, but playwrights and poets. They're just goddamn due, because they are giving us some excellent stuff and important messages that we desperately needed to learn yesterday. But I just remember, the biggest laugh actually came from Malcolm X, and it's like, damn, what do we got? We got ice cream.
And we got vanilla.
I had to pause
we got
the movie.
vanilla.
That was the funniest line. But Joe actually brought up a really good comparison about the Avengers. Funny enough, it feels almost sacrilegious to compare this film, such an important film, to with the Avengers, right? To be reductive about it. But no, that the first third of the movie definitely was giving me those vibes, and it was kind of weighing it down in that, not just weighing it down, but giving me that sense of deja vu, that sense of kind of like almost fatigue from being exposed to that formula
Yeah.
and that blueprint again and again and again. Maybe it was probably a necessary evil, because it was, maybe you need to get into it a little bit more with the four before they come together. But hey, man, I've read a lot about these guys, and I was ready for it, but maybe not so much for everyone else. But regardless, this film I'm ready to watch it again, because it just flew right by. The performances here are astounding. And each one is a challenge in and of itself. But I got to give shout out to the actor who plays Malcolm X in this film, because
Kingsley Ben-Adir.
Thank you. Jeez, I just closed my windows. But Kingsley Ben-Adir knocked it out of the park, giving us that extra dimension of Malcolm X that we really needed, because we're so used to and rightfully so to a degree, we're so used to the pure fire and brimstone X, and Real got it humanized him, but everyone else too knocked it out of the park. And just the fact that Regina King and Kemp Powers was able to make something really special and so really evenly paced throughout the meat of it, at least, that it's a really fascinating look again into that world. You think by now we'd be tired of hearing about it, but in a world where we have not learned from these lessons,
Yeah.
it's a message that gets younger every goddamn year. And I'm so glad that we are at least able to enjoy some genius out of it, some creative genius out of this dialogue, out of this directing, and out of this acting. Definitely a 3.5, the strongest 3.5 out of 4 stars I could possibly give it.
Very nice. Yeah, I enjoy this. This is a tremendous acting exercise too. But above all, it's another one in the canon of some really great movies about, the plight of being black, the black experience. We've had so many of these recently. And
Oh yeah.
and I mean, I think the great part is a lot of them are very good. A lot of them are very thoughtful, and a lot of them are very humanistic. And I think that's what we ultimately need. Funny enough, I just watched last night for the first time Sidney Poitier's movie A Raisin in the Sun, which is also based off a play. Highly recommend that. That's another one that's kind of centralized on this black family's experience living in this kind of cramped apartment and counting on the grandmother's $10,000 cash windfall to come through, and the family's got all sorts of ideas about how they want to spend it. That's a tremendous one, just a sidebar there. But it shows you too how these stories, like that movie came out in 1961, it was it was adapted from a play, but it shows you how these stories have been around for a long time. We just really haven't paid much attention, and now they're finally coming to the light. They're accessible again. This is on Amazon Video. And yeah, Regina King, I'm all in on what she's going to do next.
Hell
too,
yeah.
because she's cool. She's always lived in kind of the background, I feel like, as an actress. And like I said, finally got her due, winning an Oscar for her role in If Beale Street Could Talk, which is based off of a James Baldwin novel, another exceptional black writer. If you haven't read any James Baldwin yet, do that.
Or
Read If
watch
Beale Street Could Talk.
I Am Not Your Negro.
That's another good one. You have that documentary. But yeah, this is a solid 3 out of 4 stars for me. Again, I could have done without the disjointed ending, or the disjointed beginning. But ultimately, though, it doesn't really desecrate what is a very involving drama, a riveting drama often, with some great interpersonal banter from Ben-Adir, Gary, Hodge, and Odom as well. I think these are 4 tremendous actors. And Aldous Hodge, too, that's another guy. He was in Straight Outta Compton, too. Cannot wait to see what he does, what he does down the road, because he was also good in Invisible Man. You haven't seen that, check that out. 3 out of 4 stars from me. Joe, final word.
I'm glad you brought up August Wilson, because if anything, by the time I finished this movie, I was like, well, Regina King is a great thing to put on your resume for when they're looking for directors for more August Wilson adaptations.
When Denzel is like, yo,
when Denzel's
Regina.
knocking at your door, like, hey, real quick,
Oh
that
my
kid
God,
did a great
please,
job as
Please
Malcolm
make
X.
Joe Turner's Come and Gone. Please make The Piano Lesson. I'm almost done with The Piano Lesson by August Wilson right now. Make one of these movies, please.
Yeah, I think Regina King will be perfect for this, honestly, after seeing this. This was a great adaptation of this stage play. And it's shot like it, too. It was shot like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which, hey, I know there's tons of people out there that didn't like the way it was shot, but I loved it. It makes it feel more intimate, and the characters get to shine more, too.
You know what, Joe, because you were mentioning with Ma Rainey how people were saying, it feels too much like a play. And it's like they could have done more.
And then look at the first 20 minutes of this movie.
That's what happens when you try to do that. That's what happens. And Regina King probably did the best that she goddamn could, but that's what you get.
Yeah.
That's one of those critical points. I was gonna say that's one of those critical points I think we inherit. Like it's too stagey. It looks too much like a play. Or like another critical point. The book was better. We don't even know what we're friggin' saying. We just these have been passed down. These anecdotes. Sorry, Joe.
No, it's fine. There's definitely some producer walked on the set. I was like, well, can we add some more stuff so it doesn't feel like we're watching a stage play? It's just like, and then look what happens. But yeah, I mean, besides that, I mean, I can't wait. I mean, yeah, you're here for the performances, and all of them are great, and the dialogue is fantastic. It's what sells the movie. It's what the movie does best. Leslie Odom Jr. and Kingsley Ben-Adir, they are fantastic as Malcolm X and Sam Cooke. I had a blast watching those two interact, and they have the best conversations, I think, in the movie, on a rooftop, and then right before Sam Cooke decides to go get some food finally and leave for the night. I had a blast watching this movie. It's on Amazon. If you are not an Amazon Prime subscription member, I think you should rent the movie if you can find it on VOD or anywhere else. And if you're brave enough to go to the theaters and you want to see it on the big screen, I think this would be a great thing to see on the screen, honestly. It's movies like these that make me miss that, and I'm hoping we get back to that soon. For me, the movie is 3.5 out of 4 stars.